Abraham Okine is an undefeated heavyweight who moved to the United States from Ghana 4 years ago. His heroic feats back in Africa include once saving a woman's life by tackling a lion. Now he's facing a heavyweight with the physical makeup of a lion. Shannon Briggs is imposing. Still, Okine is not impressed.
I believe myself in my punch. I trained very hard for this fight. And when he can't ride at me and stand in front of me, I will knock him out.
This is a fight tonight that, you know, I didn't ask for. They chose me. So, you know, it's funny. People look at us here, why you fighting a guy for us? No, this wasn't my choice. They chose me. They picked Shannon Briggs. So I'm actually quite offended, and I'm looking forward to, you know, showing him and his team that it was a huge mistake.
Briggs started his career with a 29-1 record through 30 fights. In '97, he faced George Foreman. It was a close fight, with Shannon working hard while George punched harder. Shannon would go on to win a controversial decision. There was no belt, but he could claim the linear heavyweight title. His real title shot would come in his next fight. In March '98, he faced world champion Lennox Lewis. Early on, Briggs was able to rock Lennox, but soon Lewis would cool him down. In the 4th round, the champ floored Shannon twice. More damage would come in the 5th round, and the fight would eventually be stopped, ending Shannon's run to the top. By the time 2002 came, Shannon's inactivity caught up with him. It gave Jameel McCline a chance to gain access to the heavyweight ranks, and he did. Shannon went down there in the 5th, and throughout the night, he was outworked as McCline was on his way to a unanimous decision win. Now, after time away from the game he always loved, he's matured. Briggs is wise and reflective.
What really brought me back is, you know, I looked at myself one day, you know, 300+ pounds, and I said to myself, you know what do I want to do? What do I want to be, you know, when I die? What do I want them to say about Shannon Briggs? I want to leave a legacy. So that's what it's about right now. It's not about the money. It's about, you know what, I want to leave a mark in history right now. I love boxing so much, and I love looking at, you know, the classic fights, but I want one day somebody to look back and say, you know what, this guy really changed his life around and he fought his way back to the top. Like I said, there's no doubt about my ability. It's just about my desire.
The heavyweight ring rankings haven't included Shannon Briggs in recent years, but he knows with the lack of depth, he can return, and he feels the sport needs him and his dynamic presence.
Boxing needs that. Boxing is dying for a heavyweight personality that will stand out, that can bring in new fans. And I'm looking forward to, I think I'm that guy. I'm looking forward to being that guy.
This crowd here at Turning Stone, right near the Boxing Hall of Fame, among many personalities and living legends. He talks about leaving a legacy. Many who have will watch him fight tonight. Here he is, Shannon Briggs, 6'4", 261. Regardless of the home in Florida, he is Brooklyn through and through. 33 years old. A lot of people will say, wow, he's been around a long time, but he's only 33, 41-4-1 with 35 knockouts, and there's his last 5. He has only fought twice in the past 2 years. He took part in a K1 match, but those days are behind him now. He is dedicated to leave that legacy as a fighter now. All 5 of the knockout wins that you saw, they came after the loss to Jameel McCline in 2002.
And Don Ackerman.
And there is Abraham Okine. He is also 33 years old, but with a late start to his pro career, this only the 15th fight. He is a perfect 14-0, 8 knockouts, that against limited competition. His last 5, 1 year ago, he fought Buster Douglas's brother William. This group that you're looking at has only 22 combined wins. The ring experience between Briggs and Okine. And Teddy, it speaks volumes. Now you see why Shannon Briggs says he was so insulted that Okine's team chose to fight him. They went out and sought Shannon Briggs. Abraham Okine Told you about his life in Ghana. He wrestled a lion at a wildlife preserve in Africa, saved a woman's life. Years later, he was visiting a zoo in Pittsburgh, and his manager said, let's take a picture next to the lion. So he started climbing into the enclosure. They had to pull him back and said, you don't do that in this country. He's a tough guy.
Did the lion have teeth?
It did indeed.
Okay. And claws?
The whole 9 yards, scheduled for 10 rounds. Charlie Fitch is your referee.
Come on. You both know the rules. Let's do glove. I want a clean fight. Come out fighting at the bell. Touch him up.
10-round main event.
Over 500 combined pounds of humanity touching them up. Big Shannon Briggs, he starts fast. Early in his career, he racked up a lot of them. First-round knockouts, 25 in the career of Shannon Briggs.
As we've said many times, most of Okine's fights have been in West Virginia, a soft commission state where you can build records. Huge step up for Okine. Hasn't had anything in his career to prep him for this. He's fought many opponents.
Fought Tony Tubbs when he was 45 years old, and they traded knockdowns in the first round. Right hand comes in.
Well, so far, Okine has shown a decent chin, getting caught a looping right hand.
They trade left hands. Now a right hand over the top from Shannon Briggs, and Okine goes down. Shannon Briggs caught him.
Well, we talked about it. It's like a warning label. You know, on a cigarette pack, the Surgeon General says this can be unhealthy for your life. Well, a warning label on the record of Okine. He has a split decision win over 4-5-1 fighter.
There's a cut over the left eye of Shannon Briggs.
Again, fighters that build their records in states like West Virginia, that record can mean very little, or actually quite a lot.
Second knockdown scored of this first round from Briggs.
Briggs showing he can do it both ways, Joe. He can lead and he can counter. And a cut in the corner. A cut in the corner of the left eye of Briggs.
There's that cut that was started just before that first knockdown he scored. Another right hand over that left. Briggs has already scored 2 knockdowns in this first round. There is no 3 knockdown rule in effect. We're using the unified rules here in upstate New York.
The right hand very effective for Briggs because Okine very cooperative and very kind. Putting his head on the right side, Joe, right in the alleyway of the right hand. Watch where Okine after he throws a jab. Look where he lays his head, right there in the punching lane of the right hand on his right side. He should lay the head on the left side, outside the right hand. Watch again. Okine, when he makes a defensive move, will lay his head on the right, where the right hand can find its mark by Briggs. Now, where Briggs has to be careful is not to stand at the end of the punches of Okine, who throws the wide variety, and not pull his head back. Because when you pull back from wide punches, you can actually pull into the punch.
Shannon Briggs said he wanted to start fast. When I went into the locker room before the fight, he said, have the ambulance ready quick. And now Charlie Fitch is going to look over that cut above the left eye in the closing moments here of this first round. Dr. Armand Sinkota takes a quick look, sends them back out to do their business. That cut right above the corner of that left eye. Closing moments of what has been a big first round for Shannon Briggs. He gets him again. Okine saved by the bell.
The spaghetti-legged Okine to the floor. But the right hand can't miss because Okine lays his head on his right side in the punching lane for Briggs. All Briggs has to do actually is feint to jab a little bit. Get Okine to slip his head to the right and then time him with the right hand. Not even bother wasting a punch. Just feint the jab, get Okine to move his head to the right, and then drill him with the right hand, go home.
Big numbers in that first round, scored 2 knockdowns, had him hurt at the end. He was 26 out of 40 on his power connects with Shannon Briggs. 33-year-old actor who just finished filming Transporty 2, is going to be in the new Miami Vice with Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell. He's in a starring role here as he continues his comeback, trying to get into the heavyweight ranks. Shannon Briggs. That cut over the left eye was caused by a punch in the first round. It was looked at for a moment. They got it under control. And now he's taking his time, being cautious here, looking for that opportunity. The right hand has been there.
Okine has come in 4.5 pounds more than his last fight, the heaviest of his career tonight. Funny way to come in to the biggest fight of your career with the toughest opponent by far.
There's a lead left hand from Shannon Briggs. And a few steps back again from Abraham Okine. Undefeated fighter who was in with limited competition. This a big step up and a big dose of reality in the first round for Okine.
The cut in the corner of the left eye of Briggs still bleeding.
There's a nice stinging jab from Shannon Briggs. Not as active here in the first minute and a half of this second round compared to the way he came out of the gate in the first round.
And Okine not as durable as I had first thought. Jabs are shaking him. His legs still not set underneath him.
So it's easier to tackle a lion and save a woman's life than it is to be in with Shannon Briggs.
Especially if the lion doesn't have claws or teeth. Briggs has shown going into this fight he can compete with good fighters. He's lost at that level, but he's been able to compete with top guys. Okine, because coming in here, gave us and himself, more importantly, no idea that he could perform at the next level. I don't think that's not in the head of Okine right now, that he doesn't belong here at this level. See, that's the most important thing, not just physically, but mentally. He had no idea if he could have the answers with this kind of opposition. Briggs did know that he can deal with it. That's important going into this kind of fight. Knowing where you fit, knowing what you can handle and what you have handled versus not knowing.
Coming to the end of round number 2 between Shannon Briggs and the unbeaten for the moment, Abraham. Talk about 90s flashbacks of heavyweights from those glory days. Tommy Morrison, former heavyweight titleist Tommy Morrison. Of course, we're watching Shannon Briggs, a name that was in the mix of those 90s heavyweight battles. Of course, Briggs likes to say that he was the linear heavyweight champion when he beat George Foreman, because George was stripped of the belts when he had that controversial decision and Briggs came up with the win over Big George.
Briggs took off the last round, and
indeed he did, Teddy.
In my mind, that's the only thing that has kept Okine here for us in our views in the third. Some doubt in Briggs' mind being so heavy.
After that big first round where he scored the 2 knockdowns and was 31 of 53, he was only 13 of 25 in that second round in his punches connected. He was away from the game. Now there's a couple of left hands and a big right hand. And Okine goes flopping down to the canvas for the third time.
And probably too much time left.
Just under 2 minutes to work with for Shannon Briggs. Let's see if Okine can survive it.
Maybe not the greatest chin for Okine, but plenty of
That's it.
Getting up, forcing the referee to do his job, and seeing that Okine would just be cannon fodder. It was just a matter of Briggs moving his hands after the first round. The second round, he took a break, probably because of his weight not being short, thinking he had to pace himself, that Okine was still there. But the third round, going out and doing what he needed to do. Nothing complicated. Move his hand, and the talent showed. The difference, the disparity of experience and ability was glaring.
He made the comment that he needed to miss boxing. He said, I always loved the sport. I just started to hate the business. And now he has rededicated himself, and he had to love this evening's work.
As I said, a warning label. You buy a pack of cigarettes, it says Surgeon General warns you, could be bad for your health. Well, a warning label on the 14-0 record of Okine was a split decision win with a 4-5-1 fighter. But give Briggs credit. Went out there and did what you're supposed to do with a suspect opponent. An opponent who is not at your level.
Here's a look as to how he finished off the evening. Shannon Briggs, third-round action.
Nothing complicated. After taking off the second round, which is what kept Okine in there, he went forward, moved his hands, doubled up, tripled up the hook, and then finished with the right hand. Okine was right there, standing straight up. Let's take another look. Nothing complicated. Okine standing there. Shannon overshooting him with the right hand at first, then getting his distance, doubling, tripling the hook up. First one didn't land, the second one did, and then finishing the show with the right hand. Okine standing straight up in that punching zone where Briggs could be so effective. One more look. Briggs overshooting the right hand, a little anxious, gets his distance, steps back like an experienced fighter should, gets the room, doubles the hook up, and then bang, a right hand which has been there all night for Briggs, with Okine kindly leaving his head on the right side where that right hand could find a home.
For the official particulars, let's send it up to the ring to Sean Matheny.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 54 seconds of the third round, referee Charlie Fitch halts the contest. Your winner by technical knockout, Shannon Briggs.
At 33, he has found that fire again. He said earlier he wants to leave a legacy in the sport. Maybe he gets a second chance to do just that. Scored 3 knockdowns in this fight against the previously undefeated Abraham Okine. Couple left hands, big thunderous right, and it's all over. Briggs gets the win. Let's send it to Brian Kennedy.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm with two fighters right now who are off spectacular wins. Diego Corrales, the lightweight champion of the world, and Layman Brewster, heavyweight titleist and one of the top heavyweights in the world. Layman, let me start with you. What are your thoughts on Shannon Briggs?
Well, I think it was a great performance on his behalf. I would have liked to have seen him finish him earlier and jump on him a little more sooner than he did. You know, he kind of got relaxed, and I saw him start breathing hard. So, you know, I like to see him step into the ring again soon and in better shape. But it was a great performance on his behalf.
What do you think, Diego?
I think he did good. I think he looked very, very well against an undefeated fighter. Down the stretch, started throwing better combinations. The finishing combination was great, double left hook, right hand, which is a textbook combination, which really looked really good. Finishing off against, but I feel the same way. I like to see him come back soon against a better competition. You know, again, a guy can look different in different fights. Layman, you're proof of that. What do you think about Briggs at his age, 33, crashing that party, getting into the top 10?
Well, I think it's easy for him to do because, you know, he's already been up there, so he knows what it takes. This fight right here, I believe, get the attention of people. And, you know, I think that he's still a household name. It's just, does he decide to reactivate himself into the professional ranks?
We are going to talk to Layman Brewster and Diego Corrales much more in just a moment. Again, both off spectacular wins. We want to know what's coming up next. Your fans want to know as well. Right now, though, let's go ringside. Again, Joe and Teddy are with Shannon Briggs.
Shannon, pretty much exactly what you were looking for.
Yeah, Joe, but I got to admit, the guy surprised me. He was tough. I was over anxious. I wanted to look good in front of the millions at home. A lot of people here came to see me. I sent out about a 20,000 email blast, so I know a lot of people was watching.
Marketing yourself well.
Got to, baby.
Your former trainer, obviously, sitting here ringside. I know you expressed yesterday that, it's important to you to hear from Teddy, and you thought a lot about things that Teddy would say. Would you like to know what he said? Teddy, why don't you tell him?
Well, but you know what? I just want to say one thing. 3 or 4 weeks ago, when Cedric Cushman, my promoter, asked me to fight in his card, I was more worried about Teddy than I was. not that he was going to, anything bad, but I love this dude, man. There's not a day in my life that I don't think about him and what he taught me. He made me a fighter. I was not a fighter until he made me a fighter.
Teddy, give him a little report as to what you thought of him tonight.
Oh, you're a much better guy than this guy. Your experience showed, your talent showed. And the funny thing about it is with you sometimes when you have a mistake, you'll lay your head on the right where you could be vulnerable. It was the problem.
We was up to 12:30 last night talking about that.
Yeah, in my room.
That's right.
You lay your head on your right-hand side, and that's what happened in the Lennox-Lewis fight. You leave yourself vulnerable to right hand. But the good news was your opponent did the same thing wrong. He laid his head on his right-hand side, and you found him with the right hand.
Yes, I did. Thank you. And Teddy, we had our issues. You brought me in the game. I was 0-0 when I got with you. Only 33 amateur fights. You made me a fighter. Many days I cried. I can say it on national TV. I cried and said, I don't think this is for me. And you pushed me back in there. And you said, you're a fighter. You have it in you. And I want to thank you for everything you gave me and showed me. And I love you like a father because you were the father for me when I stepped into boxing.
Well, thank you, Shannon.
That's very nice of you to say, Shannon. I know Teddy appreciates that greatly. Let's talk about your immediate future here in the course of the next year. I mean, you hate when people say it. It's a weak heavyweight division.
Right.
How realistic is it that you can get yourself back into that mix, and where do you see this all going?
It's very realistic. I think I'm the most talented heavyweight, gifted-wise in the heavyweight division as far as moving ability. But I'm a fatso. Look at me. I'm a fat pig right now. So Teddy looked at me last night at the front desk, and first thing he did before he even said hello, he pointed to me like, "You're a little big." So, you know, I'm a fatso, man. I got to stop eating, you know what I mean? So right now, I'm just got to be more disciplined, focused, and I'm the best heavyweight in the world. I'm the fastest. I have all ability. I had a great teacher that brought me the game. I feel like this is the Blues Brothers, you know what I'm saying? We're getting the band back together, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Get you guys some sunglasses before the night's over. Shannon, we thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Joe. I love you.
Great to be with
I love you. I love your work. You're great at this.
Thank you very
Boxing
much.
needs you. And I want to be the ESPN heavyweight champion because they got the WBA, IBF. Forget those belts. Let's have an ESPN. It's letters too. Let's have a belt. I want to be the ESPN heavyweight champion.
There's enough alphabet soup to go around.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I got my belt back, baby. I'm the ESPN heavyweight champion. Who wants to fight for this belt?
Let's take a couple looks at Shannon Briggs as he was able to get rid of Abraham Okine in the third round tonight, putting together those left hands and then coming in with the big right hand. And undefeated no longer is Mr. Okine, as Shannon Briggs is back indeed. When we come back, much more with Brian Kenny, Diego Corrales, and Layman Brewster.
2005, terrible Terry Norris there with his family. Will be inducted on Sunday in Canastota, New York. Terry Norris, former junior middleweight champion. He had 10 title defenses in all. Took out John the Beast Mugabe. Defended against Donald Curry, Jorge Castro, Meldrick Taylor, wins over Maurice Blocker. Of course, Sugar Ray Leonard, that's known, of course, to the mainstream fan as well. And later, of course, against Santana, the Bizarre Trilogy, and then a win against Vincent Petway. Took out Curry again after Curry was dethroned as a welterweight champ, but then went up and took a junior middleweight belt. Looking back, terrible Terry Norris had a tremendous career, and he is now a member of the Boxing Hall of Fame. Welcome back, Brian Kenny, here in Verona, New York. Again, it is Hall of Fame weekend. We're talking with two active fighters right now, and again, both fighters coming off spectacular wins. And I don't throw words around like that. Spectacular wins, Layman Brewster and Diego Corrales. First of all, physically, Diego, how are you after the war with Castillo?
Oh, much better. You know, it's been about a month now, so my body's finally had a chance to heal, but it's nice now.
Have you started to think about what's next? Have you started? I mean, I want to let your eyes heal everything and get done with what may be the greatest championship fight of all time against Jose Luis Castillo, but have you started thinking about what could be next?
Yeah, we started thinking about a few things, and we're kicking some ideas around. My mandatory is one of them. The rematch is always another thing. I really wouldn't mind going and making Eric Morales stick to his word, as he said that there was no way I was going to beat Castillo. But if by chance I did beat him, he would step up and try to fight and avenge that loss that loss for Castillo. I wouldn't mind sticking his words to him. So
Eric Morales,
I'm gonna say this right here. I'm not talking to Bob. I'm not talking to Todd. This is straight to you, Eric. If you want to fight me, fight me. If you don't, say you don't, and I'll leave you alone.
Look at that. The guy's so sad because it goes right to his own camera. You're so used to that. Have you watched it on tape? Have you looked back and watched it?
Yeah, I watched it.
What do you think?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I said when I watched it on tape. Because I was there live. I saw it back. I thought it couldn't possibly be that good, and it was. What is your reaction watching it again?
I mean, this is what I see. I mean, when you look at that round, the 10th round, I mean, golly. I remember the first thing that Joe asked me, he said, does he have any more power left? I said, no, he doesn't. He said, okay, go ahead and finish it off.
This is before round 10.
This is right before round 10. I'm like, okay, cool. We go in, and I don't know where he comes back with his power from, but as quick as it came, is as fast as it went. And it was like unbelievable. I mean, the finish of that thing was unbelievable. It was an awesome fight. I truly admire somebody like Castillo. I mean, I've never met a guy like that in my life. I can't believe we did what we did, and oh my God, he's great.
I know one of these sanctioning bodies is ordering a rematch. Do you have any interest in that?
Oh yeah, because you know what? That was an awesome fight.
I don't know if I want to see a rematch. Layman, should they be allowed by any authority to get back in the ring together again? No. It's too brutal. We've seen enough. Layman, let me get to you again. A spectacular win off of Andrew Galata, and it shouldn't be sold short because of Galata's past, because this is a guy who forced a draw against Chris Bird. He fought very well against Sean Ruiz, and you just went after him. Where did this Layman Brewster come from, where you went on a search and destroy mission?
Right. Well, I told everyone who knew me that I had been lost. I told the reporters, I told everyone. You know, when my trainer died, Bill Slayton, I was very confused who was going to train me. I was confused of who I was and what I was capable of doing. Unfortunately, I had great fights, but they were off television under Don King. And, you know, I got the fight with Klitschko, and that was right after my trainer died. And I just wasn't there. And then again, I fought again after I fought Kali Mihan, and I wasn't there. But this time, I had a long time to really just like go visit my trainer's grave and just show him the title, which I told him I was going to win for him. And at that time, it just gave me peace of mind, peace of spirit, just everything you can imagine. And I told my wife, Joanna, I said, hey, I'm ready. And I went back to camp, and I had a great camp under the guidance of Jesse Reed, and I went out there and took care of business like Diego know that I used to do in amateur.
Exactly. So this is the guy right, in the amateur who would just sit back, take his time, but he would work unbelievably in that fight.
Before we run out of time, what's next for you?
Hey man, you know, I'm a true heavyweight for the people. So whoever the people want, call Don King and let them know who you want Layman Brewster to fight. Layman Brewster will fight for you.
All right, Layman Brewster, again, hey, look, a real player in the heavyweight division. I always try to distinguish between the titleist and the top guys and the champions because he's the true champion. But look, I hope you get that shot. You really deserve to go up there and fight Vitaly Klitschko, the winner of Barrett and Hasim Rahman and all of that. You're right in there.
I'm there for all of those
congratulations to you. Best of luck. Diego, thank you.
Thanks.
Good seeing you again. Lightweight champion of the world, and Layman Brewster, one of the top heavyweights in the world. We'll take a short break. We're here at Canastota, New York, nearby Canastota.